Imagine you're a German panzer commander on the Eastern Front, 1943. You've just spent the last hour in a grueling, nerve-shattering duel with a Soviet T-34. Your 75mm cannon finally lands a perfect shot. You see the flash, the smoke, the enemy tank grinds to a halt. You breathe a sigh of relief, another one down. You mark its position, report the kill, and move on. But the next morning, as your unit pushes forward, you see it again. The exact same tank. You recognize the crude, hastily painted slogan on its turret, the specific pattern of dents and scrapes on its armor. But it's not a ghost. Its engine is rumbling, its gun is traversing, and it's coming right for you. You radio your commander, bewildered, maybe even a little scared. How is this possible? We knocked it out yesterday. This unnerving experience was reported again and again by German tank crews on the Eastern Front. They called them zombie tanks. They would destroy Soviet T-34s, see them burning, see the crew bail out, only for those same tanks to reappear on the battlefield days, or sometimes just hours later. It was a psychological nightmare that made them feel like they were fighting an endless, regenerating horde. So what was the secret? Was it some kind of Soviet dark magic? Not quite. The answer lies in one of the most brilliant and brutal aspects of Soviet wartime engineering and doctrine. The T-34 itself was designed to come back from the dead. First, let's talk about the design. The T-34 was famously simple. It was rugged, it was crude, but every part of it was designed for mass production and, crucially, for easy repair in the field. Unlike the sophisticated, almost over-engineered German tanks like the Tiger or the Panther, which required specialized equipment, clean workshops, and highly trained mechanics, the T-34 could practically be fixed with a hammer, a wrench, and a lot of swearing. German tanks were like complex Swiss watches. If a single gear broke, the whole thing stopped, and you needed a master watchmaker to fix it. The T-34 was like a big, sturdy alarm clock. You could drop it, kick it, and if it stopped ticking, you could probably pop the back off, jiggle a few things, and get it working again. The engine, the transmission, the suspension, they were all modular and accessible. A skilled Soviet repair crew, often working in freezing, muddy conditions just behind the front lines, could swap out a completely wrecked engine in under 12 hours. A damaged track or a broken road wheel? A matter of a couple of hours. This brings us to the second point, the Soviet repair and recovery system. They had dedicated Remont brigades, repair battalions whose sole job was to follow the armored spearheads, often under fire, and salvage everything. When a T-34 was knocked out, it wasn't a kill in the same way a German tank was. For the Soviets, it was just a job ticket. Recovery teams would use heavy tractors to drag the damaged tank back from no man's land, often in the dead of night. They'd triage the damage right there. If the hull was intact, it was considered salvageable. They would cannibalize parts from tanks that were truly beyond repair to fix the ones that weren't. A turret from one, an engine from another, a gun from a third, they would Frankenstein these machines back into a fighting state. And the Soviets weren't picky. A German panzer commander would write off a tank if it took a penetrating hit to the crew compartment. The Soviets? If the hole could be patched, even crudely with a welded plate of scrap metal, and the crew could be replaced, the tank went back to the front. They even reused captured German guns, mounting them on T-34 chassis. So, for that German commander, the shock wasn't just seeing a tank he thought he'd destroyed. It was the realization of what he was up against. He was fighting an opponent who didn't count losses in the same way. For the Germans, losing a Tiger tank was a catastrophic blow to logistics and morale. For the Soviets, losing a T-34 was a temporary inconvenience. It was a philosophy of attrition, of resilience, of sheer brute force sustainability. The T-34 wasn't just a tank, it was a weaponized philosophy. And it was this ability to absorb punishment, to be killed and yet return to fight another day, that made the zombie tanks one of the most terrifying and decisive weapons of the Second World War.